residents getting back more than $2 million in refund and credits over the tax season, it's no wonder why families are coming to the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, also known as VITA.
Just come in and you get your taxes done for free. That's the whole reason that I came here.
This volunteer-run program lets low-income families have the opportunity to get their taxes done for free and get the most out of their tax returns.
My whole family's actually come out here and had their taxes done.
We do a lot of tax returns. Usually here at the credit union, we do about 450 per year.
Some of the people that come in that utilize these services struggle to make ends meet, and so every dollar counts, so they can take that money and then use every dollar to get what they need.
Helping Chandler residents get more than $2 million in refunds is an investment in the community. It's money that can pay bills or buy groceries or gas.
They're like $300 to get done, so I wanted to get them done, and the cost here is free.
We want to make sure that our Chandler residents are getting the most EITC, earned income tax credits. It's also free, so they're not having to pay for these services elsewhere, which could cost a couple $100s.
The VITA program starts at the beginning of February and ends in April on a first-come, first-served basis. But none of this would be possible without Chandler's dedicated volunteers. Each volunteer goes through free specialized training to pass the IRS certification test each year.
It's very important that the volunteers commit.
Without the volunteers and the partnerships that we have within the city, with First Credit Union, Hamilton Library, just to name a few, this program would not be possible.
Well, I would encourage people that are interested to look into the program and think about volunteering.
On average, more than 60 VITA volunteers invest more than 4,000 hours to Chandler residents and give back to the community. VITA is always looking for new dedicated volunteers. To find out how to volunteer or learn more about these services, visit chandleraz.gov/VITA.
Hello and welcome to Chandler in Focus. I'm Council Member Kevin Hartke, and our topic today is our VITA program. It's an awesome program that allows us to help people do their taxes in such a way that they often find more money, as well as get rid of that annual obligation to turn in their taxes and see what things look like. And today with our program, we have two awesome guests. I've interviewed Lauren Cole before on other programs, who's now our VITA coordinator for the city. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we also have Russ Puckett, who has been with our VITA program and is currently a VITA site coordinator since the beginning. So we're so glad that you're both here to talk to us about this great program.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Lauren, you are no stranger to the Chandler community. As I mentioned, I recently interviewed you when you represented the state of Arizona, as well as did your hometown Chandler some pride with the Colleen and Rose competition, both in Arizona and then in Ireland. And one of the fun parts of my being in Ireland in a similar time is seeing your picture plastered on buses all across Ireland. It was fun. I would turn to people and say, I know her. And now we get to talk about this great program as well. So welcome. Well, with the hat, our crown that you're wearing today, tell us about your work with the City of Chandler, Neighborhood Resources, and your VITA responsibilities.
Yeah, so our VITA is a voluntary income tax assistant program that we have here in Chandler. There's 5 different sites located throughout Chandler. It's a really great program to help low-income families to, like you said before, get the extra money and help them really do their taxes. And this is something that we're very proud of that we can have here in Chandler, and also to represent for our office as well in the Neighborhood Resource Department too.
And how many years have we been doing this program?
It's been 14 years. So we started in 2004, and this will be our 14th year. So we've been around for a very long time, and we've had multiple sites all throughout Chandler, and it's been a really great program. And we hope to continue to keep it.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, Russ, you have had a long history with this program since its inception. Tell us about that.
Well, actually, I started with VITA when I was in North Carolina, retired and moved to North Carolina. And it turns out that my father lived in Tennessee, so we would see him a couple times a year. He got Alzheimer's, and after about the 3rd year, I said, Dad, can I see your taxes? He said, oh, don't worry about it. My tax man's got it. But next year, I said, let me see him. And it turns out, tax man didn't have it. That 4 years he hadn't filed taxes, and he really didn't know. So that got me interested in learning about taxes, got me into VITA there. When I came to Arizona in 2002, the end of it, I was looking for a VITA program, and there wasn't one here. So I was very happy when Chandler really started the VITA program. It gave me a chance to continue on and to help people. I think that's the thing I enjoy most about it, is helping some people get things that maybe they wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Well, we're very lucky that you came to us with all this wealth of experience too, and helping the program get started. So someone should tell me, what's the acronym VITA stand for? We haven't said that yet.
Yeah, so it's the Voluntary Income Tax Assistant Program, so VITA. So that is what VITA stands for. So helping low-income families with their taxes and assisting them to, like we said before, getting money for them and doing our taxes before April.
Well, very good. You mentioned low-income families, so tell us, who qualifies to receive help with their taxes?
Yeah, so our threshold is $54,000. So anyone in a family that has less than $54,000, we can help them. We do have, for example, last year we helped over $2 million in refunds. So we do try to get out there and help people that wouldn't be able to pay for their taxes or get it done. So $54,000 is our threshold mark for people here in Chandler.
Now, is that per family? Is there like an elderly person who doesn't have a family? What would their threshold be? Is it also the same?
It's also, yeah, $54,000 as well. So.
And with that $2 million, how many people have we helped?
I have my stats here to kind of remind me of that, but we've helped quite a few people within our VITA program. I think it's been over at least 1,600 people that we've helped with this past year. So it was about 1,618,000 people that we've helped out.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, yes.
Wow.
and we keep coming back every year and doing it. And those people come back to our sites. They know that we offer this program, and they're continuing coming back and knowing that we'll be there to help them with their income taxes.
So when people show up at a VITA site, what do they need to bring?
Yeah, so I can touch base on that. They, bring all your identification information, your Social Security card. Last year's tax return would be great as well. Your W-2s, medical insurance, anything along those. You can also find a whole list of everything that we would recommend to bring on our website as well, and that's chandleraz.gov/VITA.
So I imagine with 1,600 people that we must have more than one site and some extended hours. So tell us about where people can go to get this help.
Yeah.
What are the hours?
So we have 5 different sites located in Chandler. So we have the First Credit Union, which is right over here, Sun Lakes Sheriff's Posse, Ascend, and then the Buddhist Tuzu Foundation, as well as the Care Center in off Galveston. So all of our locations will be on our website as well, but they kind of vary times. We have at least First Credit Union, they're open twice a week, as well as Care Centers twice a week. So we try to vary different days and different times throughout the week. So people, if they're working 8 to 5 during the week, they can come on Saturdays as well.
And so do people need to make an appointment? Can they walk in? How does that work to coordinate with all of these volunteers?
Yeah, so it's actually all walk-in based, except for the exception of Sun Lake Sheriff's Posse. They're actually by appointment only, and they're Fridays from 9 to 1 p.m. And so you would call, make an appointment, and our phone number as well as on the website. Call, make an appointment, and then we will have our site coordinators be there to prepare your taxes. But the other 4 throughout Chandler are on a walk-in basis, so first come, first serve.
So Russ, where will you be working? Will you be coordinating a site? Will you also be helping people with their taxes as well?
Yes, you end up doing both, really. And that's the piece I enjoy, is helping the people, not so much. Because at each site, every tax return is looked at by 2 people. First, prepare, and then second, the quality control to make sure that we give them all the credits that we can. That's really that's the object of the program, is to try and help the people. So yes, I end up working at the First Credit Union and at the Posse, but like I say, you kind of coordinate all that stuff to try and get it together. And the technique is that over time you learn, how do you ask them questions to learn things that may be about their family and their situation that didn't come out before or they didn't know. So you're kind of like a little detective, but it's a fun part. You get to know people, and they get to be family, and they keep returning to the same site year after year. So,
and you mentioned earlier that people have brought you donuts to your site and all of these return friends. So.
It's interesting when you come up with someone that wasn't aware of child tax credit, or the earned income credit, and all of a sudden they've been doing it themselves, they didn't do that, and you came in and all of a sudden they get maybe $1,500, $2,000. They're so happy to go out, buy a dozen donuts, and they'll bring them in to you. And by the way, they also give you a hug, which is kind of a nice welcome too.
Oh, that is fun. So how many volunteers do we have totally, and how does that stagger? It seems of your locations, 3 of them are pretty geographically centered here, but then obviously with the one with the Buddhist Center in Sun Lakes, we also capture other populations. But how many volunteers are part of this program?
Yeah, so last year we had over 60 volunteers for our program, and it pretty much varies between 5 to 15 volunteers at each site. So they can volunteer, a certain amount of hours, certain amount of days. We just, the more help that we can have in volunteers, we're always so appreciative of these volunteers. So any little bit of volunteering can help us. So like I said, 5 to 15 per site, and we had over 60. So I think this year we're gonna probably have around the same amount as well, up to 60.
So how many total hours will people be volunteering? Do you have any kind of sense of the average or the total hours that people will be giving?
Yeah, from last year it was about 4,300 per hours of a range of all of our 60 volunteers. That's how many our volunteers that they put in their hours to help us. So it's a lot of time and commitment, but it's great too because you get to have this experience and meet new people and know people from the prior years as well. But yeah, so that's how many hours we had in assisting all of our people here in Chandler.
And you had mentioned over $2 million have been returned. Has there been a trend, and maybe Russ, you might know this, is there more money coming back to people as people are aware of this and tell others about this? Or are we helping more people? Do the numbers stay about the same? How does that work?
Well, it gradually climbs, Kevin, because there's some years we've been able to have more volunteers, and that's one thing that we could use. There's a lot more people that would like to volunteer. Particularly, as a retired person, I think it's great. My wife thinks it's great because she gets to read 4 days a week when I'm out volunteering and not interrupted. However, there are years that we've probably had 7 sites around Chandler at different times. This year we don't have quite as many volunteers, so if you'd like to help, it's something that we really could use. And you'll find it's a good experience as well. But as the number of sites has grown and people have become aware, yes, the amount that we're able to bring back into the community has grown, and grown significantly, I think, from when we started back at the beginning. And I was here the very first year we did start it.
Hay servicios available in Español?
Yes, they are. So we actually, we will assist you in Spanish as well. A lot of our sites will have different tax preparers that can speak Spanish, and if they cannot at that certain time or date, we'll refer you to another site where someone will be able there to translate for you too.
I do remember Inez Hone, who was one of our top volunteers of the city of Chandler 2 years ago, and VITA was her platform, and I know that she has served well, has helped a lot of people, and I believe in our competition for Chandler's top volunteer, the People's Choice, she had over 10,000 votes from people around Chandler, in Mexico, in Germany, and I know VITA was her platform for being a volunteer. We're so glad to have her serving.
Yes.
So Russ, are there any stories that stand out that you would like to share with us in your many years of serving, managing, and helping with VITA?
Well, one of them actually would involve Inez. She is kind of my go-to person at the First Credit Union. She helps everyone as they come in to sign in, helps make sure they feel comfortable, takes care of the families. If you have kids with them, she gets a little something for the kids to kind of keep them quiet, because sometimes there's a wait and it can be up to 3 hours for some of the very popular places. So she is a great, great help of trying to keep things calm and keep people happy. For individuals that have come in, like I've mentioned before, they've been very happy that suddenly it could even be a senior that didn't realize that they could get property tax credit, have Social Security and just a little income, but all of a sudden they can get a little bit of money back and happy to go home and have another couple of meals with that. So like I say, they're kind of family, individual ones. In fact, we've even seen some where the parent that they've been helping is no longer here, but they're still coming back looking for help. So there's a lot of stories that go on there with each of the individuals.
Well, that is great. And you'd mentioned with donuts, and I imagine you have probably seen some of the same people for over a decade. That must be rewarding.
Actually, it is, Kevin. Between my partner Roger Hogarth and I, we're the same people. We've started together. We've seen them all. It has been. You do see the same ones, and like I say, you even see some come in to bring a new kid with them and add to the family. A little more credit going back to them. So we're very happy to see them. And like I say, to me, they feel like family. And that's why I really enjoy doing it, because you get to talk to people, you get to experience some of their life too, because you check life with them and what's happened since the last time you saw them last year. So you have a very extended family with VITA.
Well, that is great. So give each of you a chance. Do you have any final tips or comments to share with our viewers about tax preparation in VITA? Lauren, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, I think this coming tax year, we're just so excited and thrilled that we have all these volunteers able to assist and help all of our Chandler residents. So I think this is something that we're very proud of and excited for this upcoming tax year. We actually will be starting on January 30th, and we will be our sites will be open until April 10th. And you can see all of our website or all of our site locations and times on our website as well too. So we just encourage everyone to come out, and if you have questions about it, we are here to help you. And I think as well for volunteers, you can never have too many volunteers. So if you're interested in being a volunteer, we'd greatly have you come and volunteer, even just kind of see how it is for this year, and then maybe next year come back and get your certification and see what it would be like. So I think this is something that we would like to have more Chandler residents become volunteers as well.
Well, that is fantastic. Russ, any final tips or thoughts?
Well, I would say just kind of on Lauren's point there, that for new people, really what we do is they come in the first year there, we have them sit behind an experienced person and go through for the first 2 or 3 people. Then they'll change chairs. They'll do a couple with the experienced person guiding them. So you're not thrown to the wolves. You have a lot of help and a lot of guidance. And I think Lauren's point is great, that bring in all the information that you can think of. There's a big questionnaire you have to answer as you first come in. It'll kind of maybe refresh your thoughts on some of the things you forgot about, but fill that out. And even if you don't, the person that you set down to do your taxes will go back through them again and ask some additional questions to make sure we can dig out everything we can to help you and help your tax.
I think you both make the strong point that you don't have to be a CPA to help people, that you can take anyone, you can train them, they're not going to be left alone, so they're not going to make horrible mistakes that are going to get people in trouble, because you mentioned kind of the double check on that. So, well, this is great. Well, I want to thank both of you again for your service and helping our community do the best that they can do, not just to make ends meet, but prosper. And I want to thank you for watching our Chandler in Focus once again. I'm Councilmember Kevin Hartke, and we'll see you at the next show.